Mic check 212. Hey guys. Today I want to talk to you guys about a topic that's really close to my heart. And as you can see in the title, we're going to be talking about highly sensitive people. Sensitive people and highly sensitive people are going to be used interchangeably. So bear with me. A lot of times when people say you're sensitive, it's seen as an insult. But I want to give you 5 reasons as to why it's a compliment and why you should embrace this gift. And these are my opinions based on life experiences. All right, let's jump right in. Number 1, sensitive people are creative. Let's face it, a great movie, a good song, a tear-jerking novel, we can always count on sensitive people to express themselves in a detailed manner that conveys baseline emotions that every human experiences. Regardless if they're sensitive or not, everybody has emotions, and sensitive people just tend to work with them very well and know how to convey them. You know, you need that. You need that emotion to project into your artwork, into your creations. Everyone, they need that. Most creatives are highly sensitive. Just to add to that, as a highly sensitive person, your internal life is a lot more deep and complex than your external life. You spend a lot of time in your emotions or in your spirit as opposed to being in your body all day. Okay? Your body is the lowest in the terms of the human hierarchy. The hierarchy goes spirit, soul, then body. The average sensitive person experiences a lot on the soulish level, which is the mind, will, and the emotions. And as we'll talk about later, when we elevate as highly sensitive people, when we elevate, we tend to dwell more in our spirit. That is the ultimate goal, is to dwell in our spirit. Number 2, sensitive people are highly observant. This goes in with their adaptable, empathetic nature. In order to adapt, you must accurately perceive your environment. You must recognize the frequency of the people around you. You must be able to seek out the boss. You need to be able to seek out who's helpful, and you learn who to steer clear of. These are all basic survival skills that highly sensitive people excel at. A lot of these points, they may run into each other. Okay, as you're listening, you'll notice, like, hey, these things go together. Adaptable, observing instead of talking puts you at an advantage point in any situation because you can pick up on details that others tend to miss. This next point complements point number 2. Point number 3, sensitive people can sense danger. The ability to perceive an environment and the people in that environment is a key factor when discussing sensitive people. We're able to perceive the emotions of others even if they are trying to conceal them. For example, let's say you're out at a party and a fight breaks out. You see that one person loses the fight and then they storm away. And something tells you that they cannot take a loss and keep it pushing. So you turn to your friend and say, hey, let's get out of here. It's getting kind of crazy. Now, some people in that party are like, hey, he got beat up. He left. Let's finish partying, yada, yada, yada. But it's something about that guy that you can tell he about to go pop the trunk. Okay? Listen, how do we know? It's like spider senses. You can just read people unknowingly. Maybe that person looks like they always got bullied. Maybe you can sense a pride issue. Maybe their body language communicated that they'll be back. It's a list of reasons how you could possibly tell But this quick, intuitive reading happens at the speed of light. And we just act on it and move on that without trying to fight what we feel. Logic gets in the way a lot of times. Logic gets in the way. Then, let's say you leave the club and then you find out it was a shootout with the loser and his boys later on that night. You see how that sensitivity saved your life? It's an internal alarm that protects you. So that's number 3. Sensitive people can sense danger. Number 4. Sensitive people tend to be great listeners. Sensitive people tend to live by the golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. In rare circumstances, you'll get a sensitive person who doesn't live by this saying, but I question their sensitivity. Highly sensitive people know how important it is to feel seen and be heard, and because they would like for people to hear them out when it's time, they make sure that they listen to other people. This also allows them to pick up on patterns, personalities, and temperaments of people. This listening skill goes hand in hand with their gift. Okay? It's almost like you can't have one without the other. This is how they interpret tone, intention, and hearing those subtle unspoken cues that the average person will look over. We're able to determine genuinity and sincerity through listening. And last but not least, number 5. I got 5 on it. Number 5, sensitive people tend to have spiritual gifts. So, in order to interact with the invisible world, you have to have a level of sensitivity in your heart and in your mind to tap into that world. Yielding to the Holy Spirit requires you to feel and sense its presence. Then you learn how to interact with it. How can a person interact with something that they don't sense is there? So, typically, people who aren't highly sensitive tend to operate in the 3D plane only. They only believe and perceive things that they can experience with their 5 senses. Sight, smell, taste, touch, those things. So they don't really believe in a 6th sense. If they can't see it, it's not real. Whereas a highly sensitive person is often aware and humble enough to know that this earth was created by an intelligent design, and they understand that we share this universe with others. Okay, it's an infinite spirit, and we share this universe with other spirit beings. It takes a humble approach to even look at it from that way. So therefore, highly sensitive people, they make room in their mind and in their conscious to perceive the unseen and the unknown. How self-centered of humans to think that we're the only ones. We're not here alone. So I would almost say highly sensitive people tend to be more humble. That's not one of my points, but it does take a level of humbling to perceive these things. So that is my 5 benefits or 5 good traits of sensitive people. But you know what? I got a quick bonus. Okay? Sensitive people are strong. Super strong. Contrary to popular belief. Okay? To still have feelings and embrace them is so unheard of these days. To lean into your sensitivity and utilize it for the betterment of yourself and the betterment of others is underrated in a dog-eat-dog world. You are a gift to mankind. If you relate to any of these things, you are a gift. And those who take you for granted often regret it because you are highly sought after. All right. Therapists, life coaches, pastors, musicians, artists, teachers, Hell, even psychics are sought after, I don't condone it, but they're highly sought after people, you know. And you don't have to be a part of any of these professions to be sensitive. I'm just using examples just to let you know that being sensitive is invaluable and it's a great asset, especially when it's used in a positive way. All right. If you have any of these traits, you can comment down below on my YouTube, or if you're listening to this on Anchor, all right, follow me, follow the podcast. It had to be said. And that's it. I'm out.